Different sources will put some of those specimens found into different species categories. In this lesson, we're lumping them all in together with Homo erectus. Other sites in Europe include Ceprano, Italy, 800,000 years ago, Heidelberg, Germany, 500,000 years ago, and Boxgrove, England, 500,000 years ago. So now that we've looked at several specimens of Homo erectus across the globe, let's talk more about what the biological changes represented in their adaptations and their culture, and what all this could have meant, why they emerged, and some other details and interpretations about their lifestyle. So how was Homo erectus different from Homo habilis? We're seeing a much larger body size and height. This is likely due to increased protein in the diet from hunting. So in addition to increased body size, we're seeing evidence of large game and more intense hunting. So we're hypothesizing here that Homo erectus was able to work together to hunt large game. They also had the tools to do so. So here, let's do some side-by-side comparisons and some features here. We're seeing this ever-increasing reduction in tooth size and increase in brain size. We can see the teeth on the top row here, the comparison of the face and jaws in the second row, brain size comparisons in the third row here, and increasing brow ridge too, which is interesting. I don't have a hypothesis for that, but we're seeing that it seems like the brain is pushing parts of the brow ridge outward and forward. And we're seeing body size increase, and we're seeing leg length increase relative to arm length. So with Australopithecines and Homo habilis, we're seeing a more ape-like arm-to-leg ratio with long arms and short legs, but we're seeing longer legs and an increase in height with Homo erectus. So here's a hypothetical sketch of what Homo erectus would have looked like when they were working together to kill large game and butcher. So we're supposing that again they used their more sophisticated tools and intelligence to work together to bring down large game. And this would have changed nutrition as well, and perhaps would have fueled larger body size and ever-increasing brain size. So to review, we've talked about two types of stone tools so far, and these names are just names for the style of tools. Sometimes these tool names will be called toolkits, like the Oldowan toolkit or the Acheulean toolkit. So with later Australopithecines and Homo habilis, they would have been using the Oldowan toolkit. With Homo erectus, we see the emergence of the Acheulean toolkit, which I'll talk more about later. Here is the Oldowan way of making stone tools. They are simple flake tools struck from a core using a hammerstone or anvil technique. So these chips will be flaked off and sharpening one edge of the stone. The flakes are often removed only from one side of the core and are useful for cutting through hides, muscle, and plant material. So the flakes themselves can be used to cut. Okay, here's an experimentally made one. So Homo erectus tools are more complicated. Homo erectus used the Acheulean toolkit, and in this slide here, we're calling it a tool complex. It can be called a toolkit, a tool complex, a tool style. But anyway, the Acheulean tool complex included hand axes and other types of stone tools, more refined than the earlier Oldowan tools. The hand axe was the most dominant tool in the Acheulean complex, and you'll see it here in the middle. It's this kind of teardrop-shaped chopping tool that can be used for many different things. It's characterized by a sharp edge for both cutting and scraping. So here is our review of Homo erectus. As I mentioned, Homo erectus was the first hominin to inhabit territory all over the Old World. They didn't make it to the New World as far as we know. After first evolving in Africa, it spread rapidly to Asia and then to Europe. increased intelligence, increased dependence on technology, on material culture, social hunting, or the hunting in groups, cooperation, and access to more protein and better nutrition contributed to this early hominins' remarkable adaptive success. So they were very successful. They were hunters, they probably worked together well, and they made it to continents all over the globe. Some of their biology and culture compared to Homo habilis includes smaller face and smaller jaws, reduced tooth size, smaller face and smaller jaws. I didn't mention earlier, we see evidence of cooking. We'll probably talk more about that in the rest of the lesson, but that's here on your slide right now. They probably cooked. They were probably able also to adapt to different types of weather since they moved so far throughout the globe. They had an increase in brain size with an average 950 cc cranial capacity, increased body size, new dietary innovations, some evidence of cannibalism, which I didn't talk about yet, and then a fully modern stride with those longer legs I was talking about earlier.